Hello, I'm Phil Jacobus. It's July 30th at 6 p.m. I'm here in my office in Lower Manhattan. Thank you very much once again for joining me. Today, I'm joined here by Mr. Himanshu Gupta, all the way from Australia. Himanshu is with Everex, a well-known company there. Before Himanshu joins us, I'd like to take a minute and share just a couple of the latest news items on healthcare business news online. First, there's a story about how lifelike simulations show that augmented reality could save lives in a war zone. This is a really interesting story right out of science fiction. It's an interesting read. Next, researchers at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center here in New York City have developed a pair of theranostic agents which target the prostate. If you're not familiar with theragnostics, read this story. Even if you are, it's very interesting and very timely. Again, science fiction. Once again, I encourage all of you to sign up for our online news. It's free, it keeps you informed. You'll be the smartest person at the water cooler. You won't be sorry you did. So now I would like to welcome my guest, the distinguished Mr. Himanshu Gupta, who is the director with Everex. Everex is seated in Sydney, Australia, but they also have offices in Japan and in the United States. Himanshu, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Phil. How are you?
And it's very interesting because it's 6:30 p.m. where I am, and probably, what time is it where you are, Himanshu?
Oh, it's about 8:30 a.m. in Sydney.
Yes. So, first of all, for those of us who do not live in Australia, how are things in Australia?
Australia is good. By and large, not so much affected. Now the second wave has started, so people are, because they hear so much bad stories about the virus everywhere, so they are a bit concerned. But by and large, the situation is under control here, and they will control the second wave also.
Now, Himanshu, I've heard that you have an impressive facility there in Sydney, so says Diana Upton. Tell me, have you modified the way your people work? Are they socially distancing? What are you doing to protect them from the coronavirus?
When the first wave hit us, we had a protocol of, half the team comes one day, the other half comes the second day. And we had an option, always we had an option of people coming in at their time. We are expecting people to take their own responsibilities, do their work, whether they are at home or traveling or anywhere, because with the technology of, the smartphones and all, people can work from everywhere. Except, of course, the packing staff or the staging equipments. So those people have to come to the warehouse. So it's just a question of reorganizing, and we have a very good team here. So they work whatever is required to be done.
Now, I know that I'd like to think that the United States was one of the first countries to be involved in developing a protocol for disposing of surplus assets. I know this because of my involvement as far back as the 70s. I feel as though that market is less developed in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia, in Singapore, in New Zealand, even though the equipment is quite modern. So tell me about some of the markets like Japan, New Zealand, Australia, or Indonesia, Vietnam, and so forth. What's the market like there in that part of the world?
Japan, there is a second-hand market in each and every country. Japan, the only thing is you can sell second-hand equipments, but the OEMs control the installation or the maintenance of these machines. Or if you have to do those activities, they have to be done under their blessing. You cannot do it without them. In other countries, yes, like anywhere else, it is quite open. It is a Indonesia, Vietnam. There are small dealers. India is obviously a big market. Uh, all other countries are, having their small people who operate on their, on their own merits, and they will install and repair, maintain these machines. So there is a good market everywhere,
Right.
including Australia.
Uh, Now, how big is how many, do you know how many hospitals there are in Australia? I'm just curious. Maybe that's an unfair question. You don't know, but do you know?
No, I wouldn't. I can't say with authority, uh, but yeah, we have a very good hospital base. I would know.
Right. Uh, Now, how difficult is it to handle the installation and transportation and crating and that sort of thing? Is that readily available in Australia?
Australia, the challenge is the distances and the cost of doing work. It is a very expensive country, more expensive than Europe also, I think, because the distance are so much. The labor cost is very high here in this country. So that is the challenge, and obviously, there is not so many people also. So the competition is not so intense. So that is the reason of high cost of operations,
Okay.
and the numbers are low also. I mean, if you go to Japan, you've got 18,000 CT scanners. If you go here, it is 2,000 CT scanners, or 2,000 will be a big number. I think 1,500 CT scanners in the whole country. So having a crew meant for those things in that country, in Japan as well as here, so it will be cheaper to operate there in that sense.
Yes. Uh, there's less scale in Australia
Yes.
than Japan.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
how
number,
about,
the distance are big. Yeah.
how about shipping out of Australia? Is it difficult? Is it expensive?
Ooh, yeah. Air shipment is very expensive here.
Air
Because
shipment? What about
yes,
ocean shipment?
ocean shipments, the distances are so big. Again, any place where we send to US, it takes 30 to 50 days, depending upon the port, uh, just for the shipment. Yeah. To Pakistan or to India, it takes about 4 weeks to 5 weeks. To South America, it takes about 5 weeks. So it's a lot of time. Europe, it takes 5 to 6 weeks.
Now, when you think about MRIs, what's the availability of helium in Australia?
Availability is good. The price is also high, but
Uh,
that's everywhere now.
well,
Helium availability in the country is not bad.
and do you know the price of helium per liter off the top
Uh,
of your head?
the 25 to 30 Aussie dollars. So it's not changed too much. As I see everywhere, it was always this much. The price has always been maintained in Australia. It was always high, but now the world prices are also very high.
Right. So, what's your thought? What are your thoughts about the future? Are you optimistic about the future? Are you worried about the future?
No, it's all going to be same. I've always seen when there is a famine, or there is a drought here, there is a period of plenty. So if there is a drought, there will be a lot of rains coming later.
I
So it's just like that. So it just give us this virus has just given us a pause to recoup and reorganize, if you were not already done that, and given us a time for ourselves. So I think
And
things will be back in normal.
are there government programs in Australia to support businesses?
Yes, this country has a very good programs. They are supporting the business. Very proud of the government policies here. So the companies will bounce back from,
Right.
from there.
There's a there's a concern. I think there are a number of people in the United States who believe that the coronavirus is going to steal 2 years from our lives. So I hope that's not the case.
No, it's just giving you some time with the family and friends, and made sure that your organization is quite closely knit. It has brought us all together. We have a very good team now. I think we have always had a good team, but now they are more closely knit. Uh, we have, the teamwork is now actually giving us the benefits. The benefit of having Japan and benefit of having US team is giving, is showing us all the good forward thinking which we did a few years back.
Well,
So,
Himanshu, you have a great reputation as an honorable guy. Your company is well thought of. You're an optimist, and you, of course, instill confidence. So I want to thank you very much for joining me this morning, your time, and tonight, my time.
oh, thank you for having us.